Hello and welcome back to another LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 video, and I know this is the second one in within a week of recording. There's gonna be one more tomorrow because the trailer comes out tomorrow, which is super exciting, as well as LEGO Marvel Heroes Omega Beta, the open beta. But let's not talk about that too much today. This is just about LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2. Now, I talked about the news and everything yesterday. I told you guys I basically updated you on the general stuff for everything. And I thought I would, talk about it again today, but instead of giving you guys the news, I would tell you what I wanted to see from the game, Like what I just really hope to see and what I would really hope that they would do. So let's get into that right here. So, number one, I have an expanded side objective list. Now, I don't mean like side quest. That's why I specified side objective. So, let's see if we can find one. Yeah, okay, so there's one on our map. There is a shield logo right over here, okay? Now, this is what I call like a side objective, okay? So, this person stole someone's purse, okay? Now, when we got this, I was really excited, and it's a pretty cool idea. But they didn't really expand upon it. Like, it's not a very, prevalent thing, and honestly, there's no rewards really for it, except for some studs, and it's not even a lot of studs if I can remember correctly. So just to me, it was just always kind of a failed attempt at something, and in Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, it wasn't even there at all. So I was kind of really hoping that with this game, there would be an expanded list. Like, I would just give you some examples. So maybe like a store is getting robbed. Maybe, I like what they have now with the bank robber and all that. But, maybe someone is about to fall off a cliff. I don't really know. All I know is that it would be really cool to have that. And next on my list is harder enemies, okay? So what I have here, what I want to see here is not like, obviously, it's not going to be like Dark Souls, okay? It's a LEGO game. It's meant for, the child audience. Well, even though, there's a lot of, adults that play it anyways. But still, I would like to see, I can't remember exactly an example right here, but they changed their system from before it was one hit and they're done. But they changed it so now it takes maybe, 2 or 3 on an armored enemy or something like that. And that was a good step. So I want to see more of that. Like maybe, I personally would love to see a difficulty switch. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but I would love to see that. And I'm just like, these are just ideas. Let's keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. That these are just random ideas. I don't think these will happen. I'm just throwing out what I would want to see. And, if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. It would be more relaxing if I could, if I didn't feel like when I got Superman, for example, okay? Like, this is not going to be like Marvel Superheroes 2, but for instance, when you get Superman, you're invincible, okay? You can't take damage and all that. That was boring. In Lego Batman 3, they changed it, but even so, I don't want it to feel like when you have a certain character, you can do everything and there's no point to switch between characters. Like, I would like it if Superman, there was still a reason with Superman to change things. And I guess that kind of brings me into my next point of, I don't want it one character fits all, Like, in a game like Light Dimensions, these right off the bat, I don't think it'd be one character that can do it, basically all of it. I don't think you should be able to have a sidekick and your main hero, and you never have to switch from those two characters because they can do everything, aside from maybe one specialty ability that only one character has. I don't feel like it should be one character can do everything. That personally bothers me, because in a game, the reason I play LEGO games is because of all the different characters, because there's so many characters to play as, and there's so many, abilities and all that stuff, and that's really cool, and I like that. But sometimes, in a game like this, for example, okay, in LEGO Marvel Avengers, I played as, 4 characters, and I could basically beat the entire game 100% it with barely using more than maybe 10 characters. And there is how many here? There's 196, and I probably used 10 of them to actually beat the game. I don't like that. I think that's something they definitely should expand upon, and that's probably more realistic even than the harder enemies thing. I think that is what they need to do, and I think that making all of the characters, making you want to use all the characters, should come before making all of the characters look cool. I'm not gonna play a character just because he looks cool. I would play a character because I need to use that character, because like I am probably a rare case where I keep playing Lego games afterwards just so I can play as these characters, because during the 100%ing I don't need to, and I forget they even exist. Like, for example, I probably never played as, probably never played as Iron Man Mach 38. I probably never played as Curse. You get my example. So, next, I want to personalize my vehicle. Okay? I like the fact in Lego Hobbit. Now, I like the fact that they all have different stuff, but this is something I think should be universal. And I liked how I could customize my mount, okay? You can change up your mount, you can change how they look, you can change everything. And with Lego Jurassic World, you could change your dinosaur, and most times people rode around on dinosaurs. So they kind of had that in Lego Jurassic World, they had that in Lego Hobbit, but then it just disappeared. It hasn't been seen for a while. I don't know why it disappeared. Maybe there were some technical difficulties with it. Maybe people just didn't like it. But I personally thought that was a really cool idea to not only be able to customize your character, but to be able to customize your mount. And that kind of brings me into my next point of a better custom system. Okay, I'm fine. Like, I love the customization system in Lego Batman 3. For some reason, like, maybe this is not true, maybe this is just how I feel, but I think they took a step back from that, I think that Lego Marvel Avengers, even if it does have more options, it doesn't feel as personal, Like, with Lego Batman 3, it felt like you were really making whatever you wanted. But with Lego Marvel Superheroes, now, if it had turned out like they wanted it to, and there wasn't a bug with changing the colors, I think that it would have turned out better. But for some reason, I don't think they ever fixed that bug with changing colors on the actual outfits. I don't know, I just think that, and I think this is something that a lot of people want to do, I want it to not only be able to customize my characters, but like I was talking about before, my mounts, but I really want to be able, it's a Lego game, okay? I think that it should feel like a Lego game. I think that it should feel like everything you do is customized, okay? I personally, when I buy a Lego set, I build the set and then I'm done. But that is simply because I'm lazy and I don't have very good creative part of my mind. But still, it's a Lego game, and I think that it should feel like that and not just feel like a normal game. I think that's why people play Lego games, is because it's Lego, and not because it's, funny or it's nice or whatever. Cause I think it's a Lego game, and that's why people play it, is because, that's what it is, and people love the feeling of, creating whatever you want. But with Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, I think that was definitely a good step when you could choose the multi-builds, but I think they should expand upon that. That's kind of what I'm saying, is they should expand upon the multi-build, With the multi-build, it really felt like you were choosing your own thing. Like, it was a Lego. You could build whatever you wanted with it, even if it was 2 or 3 options. So, I hope I'm making myself clear there, because I like how they've started it with Lego Marvels or Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, and I think they really should expand upon that. That's kind of my point. I totally forgot that game did that, which is, good. That's a sign that they probably will, in this game, make it better. But anyways, on my next point, which is focus Lego. This is a controversial one, okay? This is something that I'm sure, it's split, like some people want this, some people don't. But focus less on the story and make the hub worlds better. Focus more on the hub worlds, because to me, that's why I play the Lego game. I play it because of the hub world, you know? I think that is the most fun part, is 100%ing it. And I know for people that don't want to 100% it, that's just not what they do, then it might be a different case, you know? They might be thinking, okay, I would much prefer to play the story through and not have to worry about running around the city and doing all this stuff when I just want to play the story. And I totally get that, but to me, and I've made this very clear in all of my Lego videos, I do it for the 100%ing. You know, the story's cool and all, but to me, it's all about the 100%ing. I'm all about that, okay? That's just the most fun. But, yeah, I just think that they really, for this one, I mean, try it, okay? Just try it, because they've kind of, I think that where the story is right now, it's in a good spot of it's fine. But I think that now they should not keep thinking, okay, how do I make the story better? How do I make the story better? I think they should be thinking, how do I make these hub worlds bigger? How do I make this side quest more, you know, fun and interactive? That's what I hope they focus on in this game a little bit more. Now, I don't know if they will, and, you know, I will still like it, even if it's less hub world and more story. I'll still like it because their stories are fun. But to me, it's more about the, you know, the hub worlds. That's just 100%ing it is the reason I play for me. Anyways, and next is add personality to the NPCs, okay? I'm about to show you an example. Like, this person, alright? This person, they would just walk around, and then when they get to up here, for an example, they would just turn around and walk back that way till they got to some point, and then they would, you know, turn around and walk back this way. That's just like, I think that that's fine and all, but would it be, you know, so difficult? And I don't know if it would be so difficult, but I want it to feel like, okay, so for example, with Lego Star Wars something, wasn't The Force Awakens, I think it was the one right before it, Clone Wars maybe. If I played as a villain, okay, so if I played as, you know, MODOK, for example, then all of these people, they would, you know, fight me. Alright, but I can stand right in front of them, and they'll still wave. And I don't know, that just seems like a step back. Like, if you were in the complete saga, and you walked into an area as a villain with a bunch of good guys around, they would all start shooting at you. And I don't really know why they changed that, because that seemed like a really cool thing, you know? I really liked how that worked, because it added personality to them. And I think that's, you know, that's a big thing to NPCs. Like, I never want the Lego games to feel too overdone. I don't want them to feel like, I like how they feel more personal, and you can really, you know, it's kind of not, it's not trying to be this big thing, because, you know, they probably can't afford to make it this big thing. But I do think that making that system back and making it so if you're a villain, you're going to be hated by the public. You know, if you walk by, you know, maybe there's like a police car on the street, then they'll start, you know, start punching you or something. You know, I just think that would be really cool to see some more personality with the NPCs. And next, add a reason, and this is the final one. Add a reason to come back after I 100% it. Okay? And this game, like I said earlier, I'm one of the few people that, I think it's a few people that come back after the game is done and just, you know, fly around, because I like flying around, and I like collecting studs and trying to get to like 10 bajillion studs, because it feels really satisfying that I'm at 5 billion right now. That's just super satisfying. But, well, I have that 3,840 multiplier, so that's why, in case you're wondering. But anyways, I want another reason to come back. I think that is kind of one of those things. That harder enemies and an expanded side objective list would help. I think that would make it. I think that would give a supple reason to come back afterwards and, you know, really keep playing it after we're done. But that will be it, and I want to make myself clear. Even if they don't do any of these changes, okay, I'll still buy it, I'll still play it, I'll still play it to death, and I'll love it, because I do love these games. This is just my opinion on what I think they should add. Maybe some of you think, nah, that's stupid. That's a stupid idea. That'll ruin them. Okay, I mean, it might. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I don't know what'll work and what won't, but I just think personally that these things would be cool to see. But anyways, there will be another video tomorrow. hopefully a live stream, another live stream. Hopefully this one will go better. I don't know. I'm kind of shaky on my live stream game lately, but I hopefully this will go better. Maybe a Lego Marvel Heroes Omega live stream. That would be pretty cool. But I will see you guys in the next video. There will be a live stream hopefully tomorrow, and then obviously a trailer kind of reaction, talking about what happened in it, kind of thing. Probably a trailer breakdown more of to compare it. Tomorrow as well, and then get excited for Monday. Monday will be my 100th video, so that'll be pretty cool. But I will see you then. In the top left corner is, let's say, my last Tomb Raider video. In the top right corner is my last video. In the middle is my logo. You can click that to subscribe, but I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.